the start of the book, she's doing okay. You know, she's stopped drinking because drink was her main problem. She stopped drinking, and she's kind of got her head above water. But the first time she meets Emily, her benefits have been stopped, which is something. I mean, I've worked with vulnerable adults and people who've been homeless, people with addictions for a long time. And when I used to support people with benefits, it was before the new administration. You know, universal credits weren't even heard of. My understanding is things are a lot worse now. And Stacey is a victim of that system. I know I'm sounding a bit political, where basically she's missed an appointment. She didn't get a letter saying she had an appointment. They've stopped her benefits. She can't get through to anyone. She can't get any help financially, and she's having a complete meltdown. Emily tries to help her, and they do manage to sort things out, but they also have quite a difficult relationship with each other. Whilst Stacey's having a complete meltdown, and we can understand why she'd be very upset about this. She's got a 2-year-old, her daughter's just been taken off the child protection list. She's absolutely panicked that she can't provide for her daughter, and that she's got that fear that so many people I've worked with have, that her daughter will be taken away from her. She's absolutely petrified, and Emily just completely struggles to empathise with her at all. Basically goes into pull yourself together mode, which is not very helpful.
No.
And later on, I think Stacey, she is struggling. She has that knock, and she does relapse. And what happens later on is Emily, basically she has this relapse, and she begs Emily not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
And Emily doesn't. But actually, Emily really should have done, because there's a 2-year-old involved, there's a little girl involved, and it goes a bit wrong.
I think I should say at this point, the book isn't as bleak as it sounds. I mean, it sounds quite depressing. It's really not. Which I think is your talent as an author, and it's making all of these people, making you empathise with them. And there isn't anybody in this book who I don't like. I mean, Emily is absolutely crackers, but I really like her. I want to be her friend, and I want to look after her. David, he's a nice bloke. Yeah, he's a bit of an idiot, but he's a nice guy. Ian has his moments.
Ian definitely has his moments.
Alan has his moments, and Stacey has her moments. Yeah. But ultimately, I would like to sit down and meet these people, and I'd like to know, what their outlook is, what's going on with them. All of these people are quite likeable. All of the characters are likeable, and that's where the book really wins. As I said before, it's all about characterisation, and you want to know more about them.
And that's really, really nice to hear, because one of the reasons why I wrote the book and I write the kind of stories that I do is that I'm writing about people whose behaviour from the outside, people might be horrified by, like, oh my goodness, why are you doing that? What's going on? And what I've tried to do is kind of get onto the surface, and I've tried to sort of write about, why Emily develops the problems that she does, a little bit, about perhaps, what's going on for Stacey and Ian underneath the surface.